Oops. Did it again. Must pick the other desktop. There we go. I'll do a quick sound check. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Good you guys being overachievers. Try to get into the contest before it's even there. It's so funny. I'm just going to laugh at you guys. That's great. Everybody's like, where's my ticket? Give me my ticket. Clear? All right, cool. Sorry. Just getting this set up. Here. Just so everybody feels better. I know you guys are going through withdrawal. Okay. Bam. There you guys go. Oh, the baby's screaming in the other room. Yeah, just do the ticket. Bryan wants those chips already. I know, man. You guys are addicts. Look at that. It only took 4 days, and you guys are addicted now. You're like, yeah, got to get me some pip chips. It's all about the pip chips. All right. Meanwhile, the guys on YouTube are like, what the heck is a pip chip? What do I need that for? All right. So, Ryan wants those chips early. Let's make sure it's working correctly. Here, I'll drag it over here so you guys can, see it. Yeah, it looks like 3 of you in. Ryan, James, and Ernest. I think Josh tried, but there you go, Josh. You can hit it now. There you go. Bam, Josh is in too. All right. So, what was I telling you guys last night? Okay, I told you that there could definitely be some big movement inside of this kind of French and German kind of news. It ended up actually coming more in the way of the pound, or actually the euro pound, but I mean, the euro pound had some crazy movement. And again, it carried over into the pound. So that's kind of what I was expecting, and was hoping that, that would come out. So yeah, so here we are. All right, so you guys can see pretty much, unless you were the pound, nothing moved, right? 5, 1, 15, 10, 19, 22, and yet 120, 125, or 126, right? And then again, euro pound obviously was a big mover. So again, that's kind of what I expected to happen. We get this data, and then we'd see large movements in the pound. So it kind of worked out that way. Obviously, a bit of delayed response, but again, not necessarily a surprise. That's kind of what I was expecting. And it kind of, rolled over like it did. And again, we saw that pound strength kind of come back into the market, which drove, again, the euro pound that we've been waiting for us to drop, for a while, really kind of got a big push to the downside. So not too bad. So let's dive into charts. Actually, I mean, again, remember, guys, again, Jackson Hole day 1 was today. Okay, tomorrow, again, we have the CAD news early on in the morning, and then we go right into Fed. Fed Chair Powell speaks, but like I said, he has the ability to move it if he says a word. But again, Jackson Hole, I think tomorrow, because it's day 2, I think we'll see more news releases, and we'll see. Okay. Yeah, that's it. All right, let's dive into charts. Let me make sure there's no questions. All right, so starting off with the Aussie. Okay, these are the 2 lines we drew last night, right? And we were talking about how, basically we were wedged inside of a zone. We needed to get some type of confirmation that we were exiting that zone, popping out of that zone. And, we got a little bit down here, it popped back up, another little attempt in, and then immediately just kind of retraced back up again. And it kind of sucked back in. So again, looking at the 4 hour, the daily doesn't show us anything, right? Because the daily is basically just, it's literally been stuck. It's like, engulfed. Now we've had 3 engulfed inside of a green. So looking at this area again, right below, this has kind of been an area of stabilization at the bottom side. And you guys can see we obviously had a level of basing right here, and that's what it looks like it kind of bounced off of. We do have 3 wicks across, so again, we have the established, cleared, established. So orders are still live down there, and again, it literally just hit and bounced back up again. So no real crazy movement. Anything that I looked at, again, I was looking at a couple different things here on different levels. I actually had this on the 15-minute earlier today. And, again, one of the things I was looking at, I kind of like this little drop right here, right? Problem is there's just not enough movement to head back to the downside. And again, it didn't even make it all the way down. It kind of ran into this little buying area. So I'd like this little drop here, this kind of sideways drop. I like the fact it came up, it ended up hitting it. It just didn't really go far enough. There just wasn't enough room for it to really run. So, yeah, what are you going to do? It's just not enough movement in this pair. And you guys can see the ATR is getting sucked back down again pretty quickly. And again, it's about to get real small. I mean, we're back down to 65, but look at this. When this big candle and this candle comes out, I mean, there's only one candle that actually really had any movement. So it's getting sucked pretty low real quick. All right. what we really need in this one is we need the yen to come in and kind of smack this thing around a little bit and get it to kind of move a little bit. So we'll see. Right now, sideways, really nothing we can trade with it, right? So looking at the Aussie, whoops, not that one. That's the one I used to take the pictures for Instagram, which I have to put 2 of them up today. So we talked about this last night. We were up inside of this upper area. We're looking for some type of an entry. Again, we were actually a little bit into the zone, right? We were kind of, we saw the basing. It kind of went down. We got to this level right here. And again, it's a valid level. It did bounce off of it. I thought we'd be able to burn through it, but we didn't really, again, it hit and then kind of sprang back up again before kind of going to the top of the 4 hour and then collapsing back through basically the same, the level over here. So, again, did we get a valid entry in this one? Was there a red, green, red? No, there's just red straight down and then kind of pulled back up again. So we really didn't get a great confirmation entry unless you were taking kind of this red, green, red here. That's really kind of the best entry to this side. In worst case scenario, this one cost you 12 pips. You were up, let me see. I think we were actually up over 1-to-1 on this one. Yeah, we were basically at 1-to-1 before it turned and flipped on us. And again, it did it in an area where, again, we could see it flipping. I was hoping with this grinding that this wouldn't be as enough of a pop, but nope, it was legitimate. Again, it popped it back up. Now we've pushed back down again, which I do like. So the one thing that I do like about this is some pretty nice movement. These are 2 extended range candles, larger bodies than anything else you see on the chart. So it's definitely in an area that I'm looking at. Okay. Particularly because, again, we were inside of this daily zone, and again, it went just above the outside of it, okay, before it kind of based and then just hammered straight down. So I definitely like that. It's something that's very, very clean, something that's easy, as well as you guys do see this wick over wick right here, okay? So what it's doing is it's clearing a lot of this junk out for us, which is a good thing, okay? Now, we do have one level that's broken here. The second one is down here at the gold bar. I'm expecting we'll either have a base or a bit of a pullback if this continues to push to the downside. But I do like the fact that we did on the 30-minute, we did clear a whole lot of this junk out all the way down here. So all this kind of sideways grinding is gone, has been taken out, okay, based off of this. So, one of 2 things is going to happen. We're going to start to retrace. And again, the level that it stopped off of is really not the cleanest level in the world. Even on the 4 hour, you really can't see much down here. It had a little bit more of a ways to go before it really hit too much. So again, it is a bit of a pop. It does have wicks here. They're about the same, which I don't love. But again, if we don't start getting, a bit of a rally, again, this could be going lower, which would be great. I'd be totally fine with that one. I'd like to see that actually turn and start creating a new trend to the downside for this the Aussie New Zealand. Again, shooting somewhere over in here, that would be great for me. Okay. Again, right now we are technically in an uptrend setup, but again, because of the fact we are sitting in an area of supply right above it, I'm not interested in going long. I'm more interested in going short in this pair. And that's all we got for this one. Let's move into the next one. Aussie dollar. Okay. All right. Aussie dollar really didn't have the big pop that we wanted it to. We talked about a level down here, and it kind of retraced, got close, and then kind of went back up. Again, looking at this one, you can see it's noticeably different, right? It wasn't grinding higher. This one was kind of stopped and kind of flipping over. So, this bottom area, this bottom piece here, it did hold. It did bounce right off of it. Again, very, very fast entry, very big pop, and then just kind of stabilized and gone sideways since that time. Problem is there's really just no, yes, we are technically in a downtrend now, although the green is engulfed. So it is a sideways downward bias confirmed, okay, that we are still kind of grinding. But again, it's the opposite situation of what we had on the Aussie New Zealand. Buying area, and that's what price is kind of bouncing off of right now. So, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, we need a little bit more movement, a little bit more power. Even if we got back into like something like this, I'd be all over it, or even like this. But this is still very, very shy. I'd like to see it break in some of these levels to the downside. Again, we've already hit this area once. I'd be totally fine. And again, you guys can see, not only did it grind up and tag this level right here, that's what sent it shooting down before it kind of pulled back again. So, in all honesty, I would love it to break through this bottom side here. I think that would be great. I think that would clear a lot of the orders and we can get back into kind of a trending market. I either need that or I need some type of big news that spikes this thing like up in here. If we could spike up to clear a lot of this drama the same way we saw in the last pair, that would be huge. Okay, that would be really, really nice. I'd be really excited about that. Just to get a lot of this junk out of the way. I can't say how excited I am for September becoming when we get kind of back to normal. This has been one of the slowest. I think this is actually officially now the slowest week we've had the entire year in currencies. And again, it's going to happen. You're going to have times where it's slow. That's just trading. And again, that's why, when you're doing your projections for the year as far as what your goals are, you don't do that based off of 52 years. You're going to take at least 2 weeks vacation. And again, one of those maybe just be a forced vacation where the markets are just not there. And if they're not there, you just don't trade. If you force things in this environment, you're going to lose trades. It is what it is. Would you be able to explain clearing and establishing a little more? Yeah, sure. I mean, Ryan, basically clearing and establishing is the first time you have a wick. You want to do everything with odd one numbered wicks, right? The first time an order pops up in an area, right, you have, something like this. What it does is it's establishing orders in here. Because if it was equal orders, it would be all the way up here, right, if there was buyers and sellers. A wick shows that there was an imbalance because what it shows is, yeah, somebody sold it up here, but nobody else was willing to buy it back until here, right? So price went all the way back down again, which means there was all these sell, but there was nothing, nobody's willing to buy it from the seller till here. Okay, so basically, they've established orders here where people could have bought it, but this is the first time it bought. So when you see it a second time, again, you typically have your established, and then what happens is then the orders are cleared a second time. And then if it goes up for a third time and you have 3 wicks, it's reestablished again. So anything with 1s, 3s, 5s, those are good. 2s and 4s, not good, because the orders that were there before, when the price went back down there again, it went and pulled those orders back out again. So it's just kind of a way of looking at it with established and cleared. So if you ever see kind of like this, where there's a spike up and the wicks are at basically the exact same spot, typically those are established and cleared. It's not really showing too much there. There's not, it's not as good as if the red wick was down here and then the green wick was up here. Okay. When you see things like this, see this, how this is kind of like descending, right? They're at an angle. Those are nice, which means it didn't even get back up again before, there were sellers that started to smash this thing back down again. So, or I guess actually buyers that are selling, buyers that are controlling it. It shows there's more sitting on top, if that makes sense. Okay. So this is good. This is bad, where they're the same. Okay. Like this. Okay. So if a lot of times what you'll see is when you'll see one spike, you'll see that things come to the exact same spot. Okay. And that's why they're doing it. Like again, this point right here is the exact same as this point right here. And it's not coincidence that these two came to the exact same spot. Okay. So that's why it happens. All right. All right. So let's go across and let's go to the next pair. Okay, let's go to pound Aussie. All right. So pound Aussie. Obviously, we had this large pop, kind of blew through. Again, we had, this was number 1, this was number 2, and number 3 is what finally went through. And actually, you can see it hit the zone once and pulled back and then launched itself through. Okay, so you could say it was a little bit more than 3, but again, the 3 was the big one that, kind of did it. So love this one. I love the fact that it went up. I love that it's descending wicks here, and I'm definitely looking for somewhat of a retracement. There was a little bit of one right here. You could have done a red, green, red confirmation off this 15-minute candle. The way that this would have looked to the downside was you basically would have had this level of risk. Okay. Now again, large. This is 57 pips, just FYI, guys. So this is a bit of a bigger one, right? Over here for 133. Okay. Now again, too many pips. Yeah, for me, it's too many pips. Okay. But again, you could have set it up. There was your confirmation to the downside. Now, I don't think, let me bring this back to 30-minute. I don't think this popped. Yeah, it did head into that zone. Okay, so this is where it went into. Again, a bit of a big area, just FYI. Switches over to purple, so it's a little easier to see. There you go. And there you go. Okay. So bit of a big area. There's not much you can do about that. Unfortunately, again, this pair has the ability to kind of move and jump pretty much. The things about this one about taking a retrace I'd be careful about is this is ascending and so is this. Okay, this is actually a pretty nice little wick over wick here, and you guys can see it rallied up, it hit that zone, pulled back, grabbed more orders, and that's what pushed it through, and then it just ran out of steam. It was like, okay, too much. So again, we do have a red, we do have a green. Another red close down here, that could be the entry that we're looking for. Obviously, pound Aussie, this is not a pair you're trading at Nadex, but if this was any other of the Nadex pairs, I would definitely be looking to take something short to the downside. Okay, nice large pop. Again, we are going into Friday tomorrow, so it does make it a little bit more dangerous to take this position. I do see some type of a retrace coming, though, because again, huge spike up, retrace back down again. Huge spike down, retrace back up again. Oh, speaking of that, guys, I do have the link for the parabolic retracement webinar that I'm doing for Nadex. I think it's February 12th. It's on like a Thursday, I think. I'll post it into the Discord channel if you guys want to get enrolled in it. And again, if you can't make it live, they do send you a copy of the replay. So if you guys could all get enrolled to it, I'd appreciate it. That would be awesome. They're like trying to get the enrollment numbers up high on this one. So that would be helpful. So what we're doing is we're looking for this one to come across and retrace down again. And again, I'm looking for something in kind of this realm, right? And again, it's about 140 pips. Actually, let me draw that the other way. It's going to be this way. Okay, about 140 pips to the downside. Yeah, I'm sorry, not February. Yeah, February. No, it's going to be September 12th. Let me check. Yes, September 12th at 11 a.m. Central Time. I don't think I had the link. Maybe I do. Hold on. Did he send me the link today? I think this is it. Let me see. Yeah, it's an old picture though, still, which annoys me, but whatever. Here, I'll copy it. Copy link address. Bam, right there. All right. So, with that said, looking for a retracement this one, I want to take this over and flip it to the downside. All right. And remember, guys, that one is going to be Nadex specific. Okay. So, this was the kind of spike we were talking about. All right. Told you guys we were looking, and again, you guys can see we went right below some of these different levels. We talked about these before. These are actually old. Let's get rid of this. That one is fine. That was the old one we were looking at before. Okay, so all right, so we got a little bit of basing. So I'm still looking for an eventual kind of piece down here. I took my position off already, but again, what I was looking for was when we had a break at that level. We had talked about this structure before. It really kind of hit this bottom piece at the end of this target, the original target, and then just slowed. Okay, so I knew there was something in here, and again, I think it was a 30-minute. I pulled the actual data from. Yeah. Whoops. Okay. Here is the 30-minute. And again, we talked about this last night. Here was kind of the basing level before it really started to take off, right, in this zone. So what I was looking for was on one of the lower time frames. Again, during the day, I'll definitely look at lower time frames. I was looking for a good entry on this one. And here was the area. Again, this is that momentum breakout that we talk about all the time. That break of the area, that retest, and then kind of the launch through, right? And that's what it did. It drove down, it blew through the zone, right? Again, it was definitely clear of the zone. It pulled back, it hit, it based, and then boom, it took off, okay? And again, this one to the downside, was it 8,000 pips? No, of course it wasn't 8,000 pips, right? But it was, the total was 91. The spike was about 60. I ended up getting 60. I got 60 out of it, but right there. Okay. Again, you could have got a bit more, but I was looking for the 60 based off the risk level. So it ended up going a bit lower, then kind of pulling back and just kind of slowing at this point. Again, nice movement to the downside. You guys can see here as well. Nice big kind of parabolic parabolic move to the downside. I am somewhat looking for a retracement back up again tomorrow. I'm going to kind of see what kind of news is coming out on it. But again, look at the 4 hour. Okay. On this 4 hour, if you guys take a measurement of that one candle is 99 pips. Okay. The daily ATR on this pair is now up to 65. So obviously, it's basically 1.5 times what the ATR is. Definite candidate, right? Definite candidate. Now, I would like it to go a bit lower. Like I said, I would like it to hit this daily zone here, as well as the 4 hour zone right here. Okay, that's kind of what we're looking for as far as where the retracement should occur. Okay, it didn't go much farther, but it also didn't go much higher up either. So it was kind of trailing the downside, and now it's just run out of steam. So I am looking for a retracement. I'm not sure when it's going to come though, but it is definitely on my radar. Something that I'm thinking about is retaking this back to the top side. So again, 60 pip grab on the way down. Again, this is what we didn't talk about, and again, it was based off of this retrace, right? So here was the first level, right? And then what happens is we had a little base here, but we weren't taking it because it was so small. It broke through on the 15, came back up, retested, and launched its way down for 60. And again, very fast, right? It was 1, 2, 3, basically less than an hour, right? So very, very quick. Okay. And it was at a great time. This is one of those ones that I could watch, and it wasn't at like 3 o'clock in the morning, right? You guys can see it right here, right? Not a bad time. All right. Like I said, where I am right now, I would like it to go a little bit farther. It needs to drop down to basically 90, about 40 pips lower, and then I'll be looking for longs, which would be a launch of this area right here. So probably not taking this any farther down, but I'm going to see what we can get to the downside. All right. Looking at euro yen. So talk about back and forth, right? Okay. If you guys look early morning for the data early morning, what do we have? We have this. Okay. Spike up, spike down, spike up, spike down, and just kind of went sideways. So this daily zone is still miraculously holding, right? I mean, this thing has just been getting chop, 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 chop. But man, talk about holding. Look at this thing. I mean, every time this thing drives in, look at the 4 hour. In, up, bam, back up again. Here, back up again. So this zone has just been, man, super, super, super resilient. The actual movement today from that, really kind of from this level down, I mean, you're talking about 35 pips total, right? It's been stuck. I mean, if I take a line, I'll just bring this line across, right? So there's the top, right? This is how long we've been stuck inside of this 35 pip range, right? I know it's not straight. This end should go up a little higher. There. This has been a 35 pip range it's been stuck in. Okay, it has just been shrinking down, 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 down. I am definitely looking for an explosive move in this pair as well. I want something that's going to run. Makes me wonder what Ninja Trader orders show. I missed it, and it hurt me right there. You missed this one, huh? Ernest, I've been talking about this one all week, man. All week. Again, back and forth, tiny area. It's like, wah, wah, wah. I'm looking for this. See this right here? This is what I want. Okay. I want this. Okay. I'm waiting for that. Okay. For this pair. Once a movement. Okay. And like I said, it may start, I don't think we're going to get that movement this week. I think, unfortunately, it's going to kick in the next week. I do think it's coming, though. I do think with Brexit, we will see it here as well. Again, just like how we saw the pound numbers move today based off that data, I do feel that we will see it in the opposite direction as well. Okay. I was expecting that type of move, whether it be delayed or not delayed. Okay. Look at the euro dollar. Again, you guys can see euro dollar. What did it do? 9 pips now. We're at 9 pips. At least it's all red, but it's 9 pips in 24 hours. Okay. So ATR, you guys can see way back down here. We're back down to 45 pips on the ATR on this one. Very, very low. Okay. Now, I was hoping it would go all the way down. It did not. Okay. So again, I was wrong. I was hoping we'd get the push down. We did get a drive down, but we didn't get the push that I wanted. Okay. I thought it would go down and retrace, and it did. It came down. It retraced back up again, but it didn't go all the way down to the bottom level. Now, it was interesting. It stopped there where it did. Again, you have this little area here. And again, it looks like they were trying to trap people on this one. I personally wouldn't have put a support level here to kind of, I wouldn't trade off that support level, again, because it's like the body is, I mean, you guys look at this. Look at the body in this candle right here. It's like almost non-existent, right? It's just kind of an up and down kind of, I'm super indecisive candle. So I would not have put anything here. But again, support and resistance trap, man, it hit there and then literally shot right back up again. So just to come back down again. So, was hoping for a bit more movement on this one. I was hoping we'd hit one of these two zones, top and bottom, but it just didn't have enough juice to go either way. This level held again, which, again, it's miraculous, right? I mean, it hit here, 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 and again, these definitely didn't make new highs. But again, it went just slightly higher, right? You'll see it went right to the same point again. I thought it went higher, but I guess on this chart it didn't. It's the same thing. So again, this is an example of those double wicks. Hit and went right back down to the line. And again, I'm shocked that this area is still holding down here, and I'm actually really surprised that this area is continuing to hold. I thought with today's news we would definitely get more of an explosive move to the top or bottom, and we didn't. So, but again, I'm still going to leave these diagrams on here. Like I said, if we can get kind of, again, here or here, okay, if we can get to either of those two zones, I am definitely looking for some type of a long or short from those two positions. At this point, again, if we take this as the base, this is 1, we can call this 2 because it turned it away, and there's 3. Next time we approach this level, this is number 4 that we'll be going through. And again, each successive one gets harder and harder to stop. The fact that this one did go about 60% of the way through, I have a bit more confidence that the next time it will continue to push higher and we'll be able to complete to that top side. So definitely on my radar. Again, if I was going to put alerts, I would probably move the alerts probably past the gold bars at this point. I'd probably put them a little bit closer down. But I don't really necessarily love this trade right now where it's set up going into tomorrow. Now, I do feel that if there's any comments made tomorrow that will affect the euro directly, I do feel that we will get some movement because it's been so slow. I mean, this is what we've been here, right? obviously the Sunday candle's not big, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we're on the Thursday candle right now. So at least it's a bit lower, but these are really, really small ATRs, right? This is just not a lot of movement. And again, this is what we normally have. And now it's just flat. Okay. Now last time we saw this flatness here, it was off of a big move, and that's where the tumbling kind of happened. This one doesn't really have the same type of setup as the last time it did this. But I am hoping that we start to kind of re-rally back again. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it does start to push back up. I would just like it to tag this bottom area first before it does that. That's what it hurts because my alert went off and I couldn't get to my laptop. Yeah, that always sucks. Yeah, you're like, it told me it was there, but I wasn't there. So, sorry. Don't want to rub that one in, but it happens. Ernest, at least you knew it went off. A lot of times when a lot of these alerts go off for me, it's in the middle of the night. And that's kind of one of those things. It's like, do I feel like waking up, or is the baby up, or is it not up? She's at the stage now too, where she's getting nightmares. So she'll just scream at us, like she'll just be like, "Rah!" And then she rolls over, and like I jump up like she's getting murdered, and then she's already back to sleep by the time I'm like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And she's already back to sleep again. So it's been the last couple of nights. It's been like, oh, she's killing me. But again, yeah. So that's why I miss my alerts. Looking at Euro Aussie. Okay. Load. You guys can see the ATR on the Euro Aussie is also dropping. And surprise, surprise, not a lot of movement, right? Again, since Friday, right, of last week, Friday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, again, we've been kind of stuck. Now, this one did push a little bit higher and it broke those things out. We did have this alert up here. You guys see this kind of line here. Again, super close. Right? What do we talk about? If it was at this area, we'd be willing to short based off the wick over wick, and we didn't make it. We got close. In fact, let me see how close did we get on this one. 4.7 pips. So 4.7 pips, we missed that one by. And again, that's what our entry that we talked about last night. Again, it was a downtrend setup on the daily. We talked about this level had been hit 3 times already. We assumed it was going to get broken, right? We had this little wick here, 1, 2. This is the 3. It was going to break, but we had this level right above the wick over wick. Again, that was perfect. Downtrend setup, wick over wick, missed it by 4 pips. And then the opposite reaction when it hit that area was it collapsed back down 60 pips. And again, where did it go? It went right to where it was supposed to go, right? There is the start and there is the pullback. There would be the target. Again, missed opportunity on that one. Okay. And that was by the pipettes, just the little pipettes. We missed it again, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do, right? It dropped, it collapsed. Now again, on this one, I may have had my target up in this area. I may have said here, you know what, this is 45, I'll take it. The risk level on that one was here. I'll tell you in a second if I would have taken this one or not. 11, yeah, I would have probably taken it for 45. You could have run it down to this area as well, but I probably would have been a little bit more conservative with this and taken it to here. Okay, that's most likely what I would have done with it. Just because, again, that was the origin of this last push. Okay, so it would have been risking. Here, I'll just draw it. It would have been this. That's what we missed. Turn that red, and actually, I guess in actuality, it would have been. Yeah, it would have been 50 pips. Yeah, so I would have taken it because it's 50. All right. So again, missed that one by 4.7 pips, just for the record. All right. But again, downtrend setup, that's the level we were looking at. There was the entry, the red dots. Where we are right now, again, it is pulling back. It is still technically a downtrend setup, although we've already seen the movement, and now it just kind of pulled back and has reacted and just has based since that time. Without any type of news catalyst in this situation. I don't know. I'd have to see. I mean, again, if it gets back up in this area, I would be willing to look at it to take a short to see if there's, again, I want to make sure there's no levels kind of establishing itself, no basing right below the level, but it wouldn't be an area that I would mind, trading again. Like I said, it was pretty explosive. I mean, it popped up and immediately kind of pulled back again. So again, that would be something that I'd probably want to keep on my radar as well. As far as setting kind of where I'd put my alert, I'd probably put my alert, let's see, 164.20 right at the very top of these candles. So I would put an alert somewhere right here, right into right there. 164.20 is what I would have my alert. I'd want to know when it's starting to get close.
Again, that gives you a 5 pip kind of window to get up, as well as look for any reversal. Still about 11 pip risk on that one. All right. So not a bad setup there. Looking at the pound yen, and again, pound yen, obviously another one of those big movers. And again, for any of you guys that joined, we do have the contest going again tonight for the pip chips. Right now, there are 7 people in. Okay. There. Boom. Finally burst out the top. Okay. And like I said, we've talked about this level before. Okay. We had the push here. We had the push here. We had all this grinding. We had a push here again. This was number 4 and a push through the top. Okay. Now, what we did talk about was this. Okay. That right above this zone. Okay. Right above this blue zone. Let me get rid of the blue zone. Right. What did we have? We had this descending base level right here. Right. So if we extend this across, you guys can see where it stopped. Okay. Let's pull this all the way across. There is the body right there. Okay. Turn that to red. Apply. You guys see the zone here? Right there? You guys see this? Remember we talked about taking the whole thing versus at the top? But there's the wick. There's the basing. Explosion in. Basing. Explosion out. And look to see what it did. Bam. Okay, you guys see? I guess I can actually... It's actually there. Okay. Let's make sure we still have the bottom side correct. Actually, that top's a little off too. Let's bring that right there. There you go. Okay. So, same type of situation, looking for somewhat of a retracement back to the downside. If you guys wanted to measure this one out, you guys can see, again, from the kind of area over here down, you're looking at about 110 pips. The first target would be about 70. The risk level in this one from this area would be, let's see, about 30 pips. So again, bit on the higher side, but again, if you're looking for 100 the other way, it is a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio trade. This is one that you could potentially take in Nadex if you want to take something that's out of the money. I don't know that we'll have as much movement tomorrow. Let me see. Do we have any pound news whatsoever? Let's see here. Man, there's nothing early morning tomorrow. So it would have to be a Jackson Hole kind of move tomorrow, or Powell's going to have to say something that really pisses the market off, is basically what's going to happen for that thing to move. And then again, this would be a euro play. But again, it may be willing to, maybe we're taking something on the smaller side if you guys are looking for something to trade tomorrow. Again, we don't have a confirmation entry yet. It is basically just, it's stuck right now in that kind of sideways movement. But again, definitely looking for somewhat of a retrace, especially on the 4-hour. That thing popped, launched higher. Yeah, whenever you see that big of a movement, it's a telltale sign that we're looking for somewhat of a retest. Okay. Again, profit target on this one, I'd probably stick it. You know what? Let's do this one. You can put 1 here. That would be kind of the first attempt. That would be kind of number 1, and then target number 2 would be down here. What about there? Those would be the 2 target levels I'm looking at. Okay, to the downside. And again, that would encompass the entire retracement. Okay. I will say one of the nice things I like about this platform too is when you put things on the lower, it doesn't show up on the higher. It doesn't get kind of confused, but the higher go to the lower. I think that was pretty thought out the way that they did that there. Okay. That's why I heard, because my alert went off and I couldn't get the mess up. Oh yeah, I read that one already. All right. So that's where we are now. And like I said, this is the best moving day we've had in this pair all week. Okay, it's been, you guys can see it's been just nothing, just flat across. Yep. Okay. Let's go to pound dollar. Again, pound dollar, another bigger mover today. Okay. All right. So similar situation, large pop up. And again, there was so much drama here. This was a level from way back when. And again, the one thing that we've been talking about in this one, and again, I've left it here, but we've been talking about how we've been wedged from this top level to this bottom level. Now, nice thing is we did burst out the top, but the bad news here is I do believe we're gonna retrace and come back into the level. That's kind of just, it's funny. This one actually bounced right off of this one. That's the problem with this one guy right now. Is again, we have this kind of bottom level here. right? And this top level. Bursts out the top, but look at this move. I mean, if we just take the one candle, you're talking about 120 pips straight up. Okay. Now, do we have a red, green, red anywhere in here? Yeah, right here. There was your entry. So in this one, about 17 pips to the top side. And you're looking at about 94 to the downside. Okay, and that would suck it back into the level. You'd be up in the position right now. You'd be up about 1-to-1 right now. So I mean, had you been in this retracement, I would have set my stop loss to break even at this point. Just let it ride. Don't let it cost you money. There are some buyers in here, but none of them really great because it literally went right back and forth. Very, very choppy in that bit. But I think it's going to pull right back into this zone again. It's going to go back into here again, and we'll see. We'll see what holds and what doesn't hold. All right. Again, this is an 8x tradable pair. Okay. I don't know that we're going to get it. I don't know that we'll get 94 pips completely overnight with there being no news, but it definitely is going to retrace, I believe, to the downside. We'll see if it runs into a level here. So this is definitely a potential short on 8x. And this is a smaller one. I wouldn't go crazy on this one. Like Ernest, you went for your 75 today. I probably wouldn't go for the 75. I'd be looking for something where you could at least, just do like a 2-to-1 risk to, what your profit is going to be. Try to like double up. I wouldn't attempt much more than that one going into Friday, and the fact that a lot of people aren't around. Like I said, I think Powell will be the kind of the driving feature on this one. What you could do is you could see kind of where price is before you could potentially use like a 2-hour one on this one tomorrow morning. Powell starts speaking at 10. Again, reversal time frame as well, and go for something 2-hour where like the spreads, where the differentials are only 7. The volatility won't be jack typically in this currency pair based off of what Powell's saying, because what it's going to do is it's going to take him mentioning something about interest rates up or down, which will provide the dollar weakness, which will kind of reflect back on this one. Okay. And again, if he says nothing, it just may continue. Again, what I would do is he speaks at 10. Use you're going to probably have to use a 9 to 11. Yeah, you could potentially use it. The one nice thing about the 9 to 11 is the spreads will be the bid-ask spread will be closer because an hour will already have been eaten away. And like I said, when the European market is shutting down, you pretty much want to be out of this pair. Okay, I wouldn't hold this one until the end of the day. Going into pound New Zealand, up 40 right now on the GDP short late entry. Okay, good. All right, same situation. Okay, again, this one had the large pop up. We did have some New Zealand news tonight. Okay, this one, the problem with this pair lately is actually not this one. It's the New Zealand itself. Let's do some measuring here and kind of see. So our spike in this one was about 180 pips to the top side. Okay, and again, looking for where our turning point is. Now again, this one is high. Like we are up in this piece right now. So this was the prior kind of turning area, and it hit it, retraced, and then pushed through it again. It's like, whoop, this one's going to drop. But if I move these bars and surround this single wick against the wall, look where it magically turned at. All right, there's your single wick, right? And again, on lower time frame, you'll see it. Okay, there's the zone. Okay, so again, red, this green went higher, invalidated. Same thing. We have a red here, we have a green here, and we have the red right here. So in essence, you could have taken this trade to the downside and gotten in for about 20 pip risk. Okay, about 20 pip risk. Right now, you'd be up currently about 65 on this one. So you're already 3-to-1 right now. I'd put an eventual target somewhere down in here on this one. Okay, is where you could have placed yourself on this. Again, that's why it's so important to be there for this. And again, I'm still working with that developer. He's driving me crazy, but I'm still working with him to get that alert so it comes through. There. Okay. So that's what I'd be looking for. 20 risk, 172 in the other direction. Obviously a good risk to reward ratio trade. This pair can move. Not a bad retracement. Again, it turned off of really nothing. I mean, yes, there are 2 wicks here. It's a little bit, a little bit of ascending wicks, but it's already kind of pushed it back a little bit. Even if you take it right now, you're already up over 3-1. So I'd be trailing this on a lower time frame. I didn't. True disclosure, I did not get in this position. I'm not in this position right now. But for those of you that are watching it, you could have definitely been in this position. Okay. Again, this one triggered about 2 p.m. today. Well, I guess that's not true. About 5:30 this afternoon is when this one finally got the confirmation for the reversal. Okay. All right. Let's look at New Zealand. Did the tuition reimbursement program ever go through with IG? IG has a long list of approvals that they're waiting for, and that's still kind of what I'm waiting for right now. But I did get it. I'll just say it's in their approval box. I'm waiting to get the final approval for it. Because what it is, they had to finish getting Ohio and what was it? New Mexico, I think. Those were the 2 main focuses for the compliance department. And they mixed up some of the compliance stuff too. They were trying to mix it up. But so for you guys didn't know, originally when IG got their thing, so every state basically has to do somewhat of an approval. So Ohio was one of the states that did not have the original approval. So it was basically they brought a compliance person over from IG, I guess, Europe or whatever. And that person was their main focus was like, okay, how do we get these last 2 states on board? Again, they're doing great things over there. I really love everything they're doing. But they're still figuring out the balance between what they can say for Nadex and what they can say on IG. So my Monday and Tuesday presentations are no longer on the IG platform. They're on NinjaTrader again, just because being an exchange, they're trying to figure out all the rules and what we can do and what we can't do. So, all right. So bit of a balance, bit of a retest. Again, this one is now kind of in the situation where not only did we break the level, but we came back and retested it. The thing about this retest, all right, is the fact that it was really generated off of news, right? It was generated off of today's news. Come on. You can do it. Oh, you know what? That's why it was low. Hold on. You guys see the retail sales numbers right here? Okay, again, it did miss. Okay, it's not considered green or anything like that, but it did miss. And again, that's where this kind of news, the spike came from. So again, we do have the break, we do have the retest, but it was a news-based piece of it. So I'm going to see if we can kind of turn and gain some momentum to the downside. It did come down, hit this little wick over wick, and bounce its way back up again. The problem with this pair, we haven't traded this one really all week, haven't focused on it because the levels of what we've been looking for have been so close. It just wasn't really worth trading. So, it's just one of those things. It's got to have enough room for it to run, and this one just hasn't given us enough room to run. And even this bounce right here, looking at the bounce, what are we doing here? We're talking about 20 pips, 17 pips. So it's not even giving us the biggest kind of run for what we're looking for. Yeah, we need something. We need something big like this. Give us like an easy trade, right? Give us something like that. Have not gotten it. But another thing too that somebody brought up, I was actually doing a mentoring session. You guys, and I didn't realize this before. Remember we talked about the retests? There was the retest off of this level right here. Okay, this level, it came up, it burst through, it came back up and retested that level and pushed down. It was something I haven't really talked about, and when they pointed it out, I was like, oh yeah, you're right. I didn't, wasn't even paying attention to that. And that was a 90 pip move back down to that level. Okay, so there was that. Again, I don't catch everything all the time either. Like I said, it was somebody that I was helping and doing mentoring with that they caught it. So it was a push, it was a retest, and it was a drive down. And again, it took a while. Obviously, it took a long time for this one, but you really took no heat in this trade. It hit, and what did it do? It went down, down. You just kept grinding down, 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 and it went all the way down to this level. So there you go. I missed one as well. I don't really focus on this pair too often. It doesn't typically move enough for me, but again, standard trade of what we do: the break, retest, launch, and there was another opportunity for it. So right now, I'm just going to I'm on the sidelines for this one, especially going into Friday. There's nothing. I'm probably not going to look at this one with no news or anything. Dollar Swiss. So I did see something interesting coming up with the Swiss here. Over here, they talked about how Switzerland tried negative rates in the 70s and it got really ugly. I thought this was pretty interesting when you start talking about the Swiss. It's like, So where we are on the Swiss, okay? We had this little area. We were talking about going short, and again, got positive, went back up again, went down again, came back up again. It based so long there, you shouldn't have stayed in. Had you taken this risk, though, obviously you would have lost out on this one. This was a very, very, again, It's going to happen. It's not the end of the world, guys. That's why we take small risk. I think the total risk in this trade, had you tried to get in this one, was about 8 pips. Oh, well, you lost 8 pips, not the end of the world. So it continued to push higher. Okay, it is going up to an area. Let's see. I had those purple up there for a reason. Not sure what those purple lines are for because I don't see it on that chart. So let's just remove those to get those out of the way. What we're running into, get rid of that one. What you're seeing is kind of like this wick went higher. I'm not really concerned about it. This isn't a bad level of basing, although it's a little bit of a retest of that one. I don't really love much in this one. Like I said, it bounced out of this level multiple times, came up and then bounced. Same thing. Like if I extend this, you guys can see. Not only did it hit the bottom side and bounce, then it went to the top, it came back down and bounced again. Okay, and it's finally starting to leave the area. So we'll see if we get some trend. It is considered in an uptrend. Again, we'd be looking for an uptrend setup. We don't have an uptrend setup. We just have the uptrend, and again, it's just been pushing through. So nothing super great in this one. Trying to think if I would even take. I don't even know if I take from that level. I don't think I would take it from this level either. I think that was a 4-hour level. Nope, that was a small one. Oh, it was from this basing level. Yeah, it wasn't even that great of a level, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's kind of a 6, and it was based off. Oh, this was the gap level. Yeah, I wouldn't take a long off that area where it is now. I would just basically, if it's on your chart, I would just erase it and really not use it. Wait for something a little bit cleaner. Trying to think if I would take this. See what that looks like. So that's the upper side. And again, there was the old level. Came through, hit, broke, up, hit, and that's what sent us all down. Not a horrible. It's actually not really a horrible level at all. Yeah, we just kind of came out the top of it. Trying to see if I would take a retest on this one, if it kind of can clear the area and come back to use this as a launching point. See what it does. This one's able to clear, but it is Friday, so I don't know. I may hold this one over the weekend. Not place the trade, but I may hold off on placing anything on this one until over the weekend because again, the Swiss is going to go out on us early, and I don't think there's enough U.S. news unless there's something really crazy with Jackson Hole, but I don't expect there to be. If I get a clean break above and then a retest back down again, I may be willing to take something smaller on this one. I would like it if we can get up here. If we can get a gap up a bit on Sunday, that I may be looking for a weekly position on Nadex for this one. Something where it's going to require a little bit more movement to see if we can get kind of a continuation pattern for it. But right now, I don't have anything on this. Let's go dollar CAD. Pound New Zealand. Did we do that one? You guys look at the ATR. Whew. ATR is shooting straight down on this one. Yeah, this one just kind of just went died on us. So again, what did it do? It went down, it retested to where the level it is, and it really didn't do much today. You guys can see there was this level here that it was basing at before. It kind of went up, it grabbed the levels here, came back down again, grabbed more here, went up again, grabbed the levels right here again, went down again, and we're right at that same level again. This would be the third touch of that area, so again, I don't see it holding too well, but on the flip side, I mean, on this daily, again, I'm still looking for this kind of top area up here. So it's still got some room to run. It's getting very choppy back and forth. Look at the wick in this one right here. Look at this candle. It's like all wick, right? And we're kind of in the same situation where it came down and went right back up again. So because it's so ugly here, I probably won't trade this one. Again, I like this to the downside, right? It hit this wick over wick, came right back up, hit the level again, went right back down again, hit this level. We do have descending wick, so again, if it does get back up in this 132.25-ish area, I would probably look at it again just to see how it reacts, see if we can get some type of a confirmation entry. And again, that would be a continuation of kind of this level right here. So if you wanted to set an alert for 133.25, that may be worth taking a little, kind of a gander at and see what it looks like over there. That's not horrible. Again, going into Friday, so we run out of steam, but it will last a little bit longer than the European pairs because it's the dollar CAD. Um, yeah, I may be willing to take something on a 2 hour tomorrow morning with that one. So that's not horrible. I'm gonna write that one down. Okay. Yeah, so I'll probably check that one out in the morning. Again, I'll set an alert on this one. And again, if you guys are using this platform, don't forget you can do, go over here, set alert, go to price level, and then type the price in. Right? What did I say? 133.25, 1.3325, and set alert. Okay. And again, if you have this app on your phone, it will send an alert to your phone. Again, that's just one of the ways. I mean, every program has some type of alert system. Um, I actually prefer the email version because I have a setting for that one. Okay. Let's see. Go over to dollar yen. Load. All right. Yeah, that one's just kind of just dead right here, right? Man, I was hoping we get more movement than that. Yeah, and there's Thursday at 19. Yeah. So even look at the 30, you guys can see we had this top area here, right? Came back down, went to the bottom, hit this little level right here, popped back up again, went to the origin of the move, turned around, came down, went to the origin of this move. And again, now it's back up to that same origin at the top. So again, just looking at it, I would say I'm probably more bearish at this point. It's ran into, you guys can see that this went down to this, went down to this. So technically, we have lower high retracements to the downside, which would tell us that we are in a downtrend. Right now, we are sideways engulfed, definitely on the daily. If you're looking at the 4 hour, we are engulfed uptrend. I guess both of them are considered an uptrend, sideways biased. Neither one. I guess the current one is confirmed. Yes, it is above, but it's at the high end of the peak, right? When you're looking at where it's been pushed down, it's at the high end. But again, this side's going down, this side's going up. We're kind of consolidating. Everything is kind of joining to the middle. Which leads me to believe that tomorrow is going to be kind of a funky day. So maybe Powell will have the ability to move the markets tomorrow if nothing has happened overnight. And again, I do expect some fireworks with Jackson Hole tomorrow. I think because we didn't hear too much today, tomorrow's day 2. Tomorrow's the last day for those guys to be celebrities when they leak the information that they've just learned. So I think that will probably make a difference. We'll see, but I think that's going to, if anything, I'd be more bearish, looking for this to come back down and retest down to this 106.35ish area. It's only about 20 pips of the downside. I mean, again, we're talking about a very, very small. I mean, it's kind of what we're talking about before, right? We had the best entry was this one off of this, right? Up, but since that time, there's not. I wouldn't say there's anything equivalent to this kind of nice pop, right? There's nothing super explosive in here. Again, this wasn't a bad little level right here, and that's what this hit off of. But again, I may not have taken that one. Well, again, here's the example, Ryan. I guess it was Ryan the US, right? Here's the double bottom. Here's the established and the cleared, and see how they're exactly at the same point. Now, the red candle closed here. I'll make this one bigger for you. The red candle closed here. You know what? I will use the arrow function. Where is it? I can't see it. Right? Red candle closed here. Green one opened here, just like how it should, right? But yet, miraculously, this one went down here, and this one went down here. And again, this is what I'm talking about, where it's established and cleared, shows that there was equality in order. So there's really basically the same. There's nothing there that was holding it. And hence, what did it do? It pushed all the way through like it wasn't even there, right? Because again, this is a nice pop. This is a nice green candle. I mean, it's bigger than a majority of the candles that are on here, minus some of these, these guys, right? This is a nice pop, so you would technically mark that off, right? Except the fact that the bottom is 2 doubles. Okay, and again, it's shredded right to the bottom. If it goes down, does the euro go up? No, not technically. I mean, if the dollar yen goes down, if it goes down because of yen strength, then you would have the same yen strength with the euro dollar. Or, I'm sorry, with the euro yen. Problem is, here's the problem. that the dollar yen is kind of its own type of pair because it tracks with the US stock market. Okay. So it would be a lot more likely to move because it is a proxy versus the euro yen. Okay, but if it's purely a yen play, then yes, they will both do exactly the same thing, as will the Aussie yen, as will the pound yen. But typically, when we see movement in the dollar yen, it is because of the US stock market, because that acts as the proxy. Okay, good, Ryan. You see what I'm talking about. Okay, good. So yes, I mean that may have led you to taking this one to the top, but even so, we're only talking about what, 20 pips. Are you guys going to risk 6-7 pips just for 20? Probably not. Not with the markets the way they've been this week. I just feel like you'd be forcing it for that one. So nothing super crazy on this one. And like I said, it's basically flatlined. It's dead. I can get rid of these 2 black dots now. Okay. It's just more or less kind of flatline on us. Okay. All right. Actually, you know what? I will leave that on there. I think I'm gonna do like a post or an article on that tomorrow. I'll draw 2 of these real quick, just so I remember to go back to it. And I'll blow it up. Maybe I'll do a post tomorrow on this. Because if you didn't get Ryan, obviously there's other people that don't get it too. Okay. All right. Go to CAD Swiss. All right. So let's see here. Come on, you can load. Okay. Now we got that little bit of a bounce, right? And what did CAD Swiss do finally? It blew out the top. Okay, so I missed it by 1. Right? This one was good. This one was good. I was kind of surprised at this one, but you know what it did? It pulled back just to drive right at the top again. Okay, so it did finally break the top, and then again, it pulled back into the zone. It's just showing that it doesn't have a whole lot of conviction. I mean, there's just not a lot there. Right now, we are, again, same thing, sideways upward biased. Again, we weren't interested in buying anything because of this zone. It did breach it, though, but again, immediately pulled it back, and you guys can see here. Not only did it breach it back, it kind of rebounded and then pulled back again and just has now flatlined and stopped in the area. So, again, this is a pair that I will typically only trade when there's big CAD news. I wouldn't say it's one that I go to a lot. Again, it's at the very, very end. Somebody asked about it. Again, if there is Swiss news, it will move as well because the CAD is considered one of the weaker pairs as well that you can trade against. So if you do have a Swiss news, you could trade this against, for Swiss news as well, but you don't see that too often. CAD yen is obviously our oil play. We're getting late in the week for oil. I will say I was pretty excited the other day. I saw gas. One of the gas stations here had it for 220, and I was pretty excited because that's low for our area. I was like, yep, Labor Day is coming. Gas prices are going to go cheap again. All right, CAD yen, yeah, we're just flat. Not a whole lot has happened in there. See, this is what I don't like. I don't like when the second one is higher than the first one. I like when if this green was high and then the red was low, I'd be all over it. But I don't like it when it's established in this direction. This zone got kind of didn't quite hit. It went here, went to 1 and 1, and again, when it bases like this beforehand and just stops, once this kind of pushed higher, I would have, you would have taken yourself out. This was a break-even trade. We talked about it before. Again, basing it ended up going down back to this level. Okay, again, not a bad. Again, if I remove this green, right, and put a zone on here, right there. Okay, there's your 7 pips, and if you're taking it back up into the high here, okay, you would be looking at what? Probably about there, about 36, 35 would be on the safe side. Oops. That's probably what you'd be looking at. Again, did not trade this one, guys. I'm just putting this on the chart for the first time, but again, that's something smaller you could have traded today had you been looking at this one. During the day, I don't cycle through these nonstop. I just don't have time for all that. So I have a couple ones and I wait for my alerts for the most part. But again, you could have, right? This is a nice little clean level, right? Pop in, sideways, pop up. Again, if you still had your green on there, it's probably distracting. I liked it better than this, right? This was not really that beautiful, and it was really, really close. And again, with price driving down, where was I going to go, right? Could I have taken this on? Sure, I guess I could have, right? But where was my profit target? It would have been right here, so it would not have been worth it. But this made it a little bit more viable, right? Came back to the downside. Again, could have grabbed this one. And again, as this was kind of driving down, right, you guys can see that where are we? It's closer here than it is the bottom. Actually, no, I guess, yeah, this line would have been shorter than this one. So, yeah, it would have hit. It's basically sideways, but I would say it would be a little bit more biased to the downside. which was fine because I drove back down to the origin of a move here and drove right back up again. So just a small trade you guys could have taken. Like I said, these things kind of pop up throughout the day. You have to be there watching it to be able to catch them all or set alerts. I didn't have alert on this one. We were all the way up over here. I was thinking more that it was going to come down, and it didn't. It just based. All right. So just another example of something you could have got if you're watching it. And this one triggered super early, about 2:30 in the morning. Obviously, too late for me. I would not have been trading that one. And you would have hit your full profit target at about 8:30 this morning. So a little bit too early for me to catch this one. All right. So with that being said, it is 10 o'clock. Last chance, guys. Make sure you guys hit your exclamation point ticket to get your free ticket for this evening. If you're going to get into the drawing for the 25 pip chips. Now, I will say, looking over at the leaderboard, and again, you guys can do it another time. Like I said, I'll just tell you that you can't get in. Looking over here, you guys can see that Will is up here at 185, so he's getting close. The first, actually, Ernest is not that far behind. The buying is coming from the, once you get to 250 is where you start hitting the level where you could actually do the mentoring sessions. I'm going to add some other things. That September 12th, there is probably going to be a new class released just on these parabolic retracements. They just happen too often. It's going to be something really small. I'll probably do it for something super cheap, but it'll just give the actual definitions and things for that one. That will probably be thrown up in the channel as well as something. If you watching, you attending the channel, you get enough pip chips, you guys could purchase that using just pip chips if you guys like. Okay. So let's do this real quick. Everybody in last second? Who was it last night? I forget. He got in like literally right after I did it. I think everybody's good. Let's go across. Go to giveaways. Tickets purchase 8. FX Jones bought 2 tonight. He's in there for a little bit extra. All right, ready? I'm going to close this and let's draw the winner. And it says FX Jones. Look at that. He snuck in at the end, bought the second ticket, and bam! Yeah, he did have a 25% chance, but look at that, man. He snuck in there at the end. But he did use some pip chips for that, so it worked out well for him. He spent an extra 10 pip chips purchasing that extra ticket, and it worked out that it ended up getting him the win tonight. So I will go over here. We'll find, let's see, that was FX Jones. Right here, we will give you an extra 25 pip chips for the night. And bam, you're starting to get up there. You're right on Ernest's heels. One more winner, and you got it. All right. So, guys, with that being said, that will be it. There obviously is no chart school tomorrow evening. If you guys haven't, go ahead and click that link up top. Get registered for the Nadex event. Like I said, they're pretty excited when I said I would send it out to the crew for the to join as well. And it's something new and really kind of laying out the directions more than I've given you guys thus far as the retracements go. All right. Particularly with Nadex, not just with currencies. So I will catch you guys. Everybody have an absolutely great weekend. I will see you on Discord tomorrow, and I will see you guys next Monday night, same exact time. If any of you guys are early risers, go ahead and visit me on Nadex Monday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time. And then again, just a reminder too, in 2 weeks, I do start Mondays and Tuesday mornings for Nadex. Okay, they want me on for 2 days now instead of just one. So we'll be doing that one. All right, perfect. You guys take care. I'll catch you next week.